What's good, ladies and gents? Welcome to the MKO Pugilism Boxing channel where we talk all things boxing. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification. You can get notified of all the latest blogs that we drop on this channel. Leave your comments below also. Let us know what you think about the topics of discussion here. So, one of the latest bits of news is that your Dennis Ugas has been elevated to WBA Super Champion, and this is another bit of a situation with the WBA. What they've done is this move is based on Manny Pacquiao, who won the WBA, I guess, Super title off of Keith one-time Furman. This was back in July of 2019. And from July of 2019 throughout the whole of 2020, Manny Pacquiao didn't have a fight. He didn't make any defenses of his WBA title. And even until now, I think the only fight I've heard talks about, well, there's two. The Conor McGregor thing, if that was ever serious, which I don't know if we can really take, I don't think we can take it serious. I've also heard the Ryan Garcia has been talking, so it's only really been those that have been in talks. To be honest with you, I think the Ryan Garcia one's more serious than the other. So he hasn't made any defenses. He didn't have a fight through the whole of 2020. So the WBA say, right, due to that inactivity, you're now going to be made champion in recess. And with this champion in recess thing, it basically means that you're technically no longer a champion. You're in a position where you're like a mandatory. So what happens is you're the champion in recess for the WBA, and someone else has the actual belt, but at any time, pretty much any time, you can call for a fight. So Pacquiao can basically sit back, not take any fights, but because of this status of being champion in recess, he can at any time call for a fight with whoever the WBA champ is. So if it's Spence, he can say, right, Spence, I want this title. I want to fight for the title. If it's Ugas, he can say, right, Ugas, I want the title. And so lately, since what they've done in the WBA, they've maneuvered now your Dennis Ugas into the super champion status, which I guess super champion is kind of the actual champion, because he was formerly regular champion, and I think Anthony Joshua's super champion of WBA, and super seems to mean actual champion or real champion. It's all a big mess. But so now he's the super champion at welterweight, and now Errol Spence Jr. has piped up about it, and he said basically, I think his words were, now all you needed was something I want. Now let's do it. Strap season, man down, blah, 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 all that, the rhetoric that he uses now. So now he's on it. He wants to now fight Dennis Ugas, because now Dennis Ugas has a belt. He has something he wants. Prior to this, from what I recall, Ugas was calling out Spence several times. Spence was not really that interested in fighting him, because I suppose, as Spence said, unless you got something I want, unless you got a belt or you got something that I need, I'm not really bothered about it, because he has such a high status, and he's a unified welterweight champion, is Errol Spence. So I understand that perspective. And now with this taking place, he's the proper WBA champ. Spence has got his other two belts. And I guess he's thinking, right, I'll take this on. Easy work to do. And they're both under the same PBC. I believe they're both Al Heyman managed fighters. So technically this fight should be really easy to make, because both under Al Heyman. Obviously Spence is the more favored guy, but yeah, it's one that I believe could definitely happen next, because disappointingly for us boxing fans, the Terence Crawford fight that we all real fans would want to see, seems to be far and away. It seems to be a fight that never is really going to happen. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we go through this whole year without that fight happening, unfortunately, and that's that really is sad. So yeah, this fight here could be an interesting one. It's one of those where it will. I think for me it is kind of a good move for Errol Spence, because as he said, it's that opportunity to get another strap, and I'd say it's nowhere near as dangerous as taking on someone like a Terence Crawford. And I think it would be a good one for him in terms of his rebuilding process, because obviously he's had the accident. In my view, he performs very well against Danny Garcia. I mean, considering what he went through and the car accident and all of this, I mean, his performance against Danny Garcia was almost like back as if he never left. He pretty much dominated the entire fight. So I think, as much as I do want to see Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr., I think it is kind of fair to let him have a guy like this, your Dennis Ugas, because I think Ugas will be a good little measuring stick for Errol Spence Jr. to show him where he really is, because we know Ugas gave Sean Porter a hell of a good fight. I mean, there's many people that had Ugas actually beating Sean Porter. So we know that Ugas is a good fighter. We know that he's a tough fighter. We know he gave Sean Porter all he could handle and arguably beat Sean Porter. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to argue. I say, okay, Sean Porter won, but it was one of them where it was close enough that you couldn't complain if Ugas got the decision or got the nod in that fight. So we know that this guy's good, decent fighter. I think he's been out for a while. Spencer's been he's had the Garcia bout, and I think this is this fight could be a bit of a challenge for him, but I'd pick Spence to win this one. I'd have to do a little bit more digging. I'd have to have another little look at Ugas's latest fights and sort of see where he's at. But I think I'd pretty much comfortably pick Errol Spence to win this one. If it comes down to it, I think it's one that he'd be quite motivated for, and yeah, I'd be quite happy to watch this one as a fan. But the one we really want to see is Terence Crawford. I can understand fights like this. It's a great opportunity for Spence to sort of get his feet wet again, get in the ring again, shake off a bit of that ring rust, and yeah, good opportunity for him, and good opportunity for Ugas, that if he's on his game and he beats Errol Spence Jr., that's him on the map. He's now unified champion. He's now got three belts. So yeah, we shall see what happens. Let me know your thoughts about this. Errol Spence seems very enthusiastic. Do you think this is a good move for Errol Spence Jr. fighting your Dennis Ugas, getting another strap? Do you think it's a good opportunity for Ugas? Let me know. Let me know who you think wins this one. And yeah, hopefully if it does happen, it brings us closer to Crawford versus Spence. I know that may sound like wishful thinking for those of you that know the politics of the situation, but anyway, we shall see. Until next time, this is MKO Pugilism, over and out. Catch you on the next one.